Hey, 7.2 has been announced, and it is going to be wait for it, a game changer. A game changer. We're back at Game Changers. We have takes. Some of them are hot even. That and more on this episode of the SWTOR Escape podcast from newoverlords.com. Our broadcast hashtag today is EPC 446. And with me is my co-host, Seema. Hey, Seema, how's it going?
I mean, my game is completely changed.
It is. We are live on the PTS, and it is changed.
I mean, even on my setup, which is like medium, like I don't have like high graphics and all that stuff, it looks so good on this planet. We're on,
On Ruark.
Yeah, that's where we are. That's where we are. It's a new place.
Start with an O.
Because the live stream yesterday, and they said they were going to try and get the PTS up, and they did, and the PTS is up for the podcast, so
yeah,
we lucked out there.
We got the live stream in time, and we got the PTS up in time. Amazing.
Right, so we've been like sort of, we haven't actually done a lot of the PTS because we keep just like riding around.
Yeah.
We have killed a few things, and it did seem like they were maybe a little bit harder, sort of like if anyone remembers when Oricon was new, right? Like those mobs were a little bit harder than the mobs that were around, and when Osis was new. So it's sort of like that.
Right.
But it is very compelling scenery here.
It is.
Yeah. And the lighting, oh my God, the lighting. So yeah, but I mean, that's today, that's this evening, but this week has been, we just got done with our ops night, and we have been working on R4, and it has really been fun. I've been enjoying R4 more than I enjoyed Duxon or Gods. I don't know why, but I do like the fight that we're working on now is you say what's his name is, but it's the one where the Nyrot goes on the floor.
Yes.
And it's a fun mechanic. I like
Kevin.
that we can.
I think his name is Kevin.
Yeah. Okay. You've killed Kevin. No.
Kenny. That's Kenny.
I know. But his name isn't Kenny, so. I like the fact that. Yeah, now it is.
And we haven't.
I like the fact that we can throw the fire on the Nyrot, and it's a short cast, and it works almost immediately. Like, so it's kind of really cool, positive feedback, and then you can even like throw it on a square so that you can then run through it. So it's it's a cool because lots of times, and lately I get tired of things that are supposed to be cool, but then they have a really long cooldown.
Right.
Or they're really they only last for really short, or they only have 3 charges or whatever. So I don't understand that sometimes, but this fight, I like that there's a short cooldown. It's a 7-second or so cooldown on the device, but as soon as you throw it, the Nyrot starts to dissipate. We haven't killed him yet because we still need to get a little bit better at the dance.
Get good, bro.
Get good. And then I don't know. I'm not looking forward to Lady Dominique, because of people saying it's their bugaboo. So I'm afraid it'll be our bugaboo. But so far it's been really fun in there.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see on that.
And we had a really productive MFN this week where we just did a bunch of Galactic Seasons targets after the end of MFN. I think I had done like 5 of 7. So like my week of Galactic Seasons was almost done on Tuesday night. So that was pretty cool. I have decided to, like, I have a new philosophy now. Like every week I have a new philosophy about how I'm doing the rep for Galactic Seasons 3, which is that I'm just going to go with whatever rep I get from whatever tasks I do. But I am going to use the rep boost because I have a bunch of them. I have like 30 of them for every turn in. And I'm just going to take whatever that works out to, because that's going to be more than enough rep. And I might not even, Yeah, because the boosts just roll in. They come from login rewards. So
And so every
they're
21
free.
days you get 2 if you.
Yeah, so I'm just like they're just otherwise just sitting in my, my cargo hold. So, um yeah, so that's I'm not making a spreadsheet anymore. I'm not trying to get like two purples, a blue, and another purple in order to get to 6K because it is going to happen. It's just going to happen. So that's my new rep thing. But I do enjoy using the boost and getting extra rep for each turn in. I like that. So that's how I'm doing it. It's the most fun for me.
Yeah.
Um, in my inventory journey, last week I said I had finished the remnant remnant armor for the smuggler um, boxes, and now I was doing the military boxes, and I only had 3 items left to get, and now I've been doing the military ones all week, and now I still have 2 left to get. So this might take me a while. I mean,
Yep.
I've used up. I had hundreds of military boxes, right? I've used all those up, so now I'm just doing like heroics every day that give military boxes. So like every couple of days I have like 10 boxes to turn in. So it's just going to take a while. And maybe I'll just no, I want to finish military before I go on to ancient artifacts or alien research.
Sure. Sure, might as well just do it in order. And it may take a while. I know it has taken other people quite a while. Um,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. And I've been pretty good about the characters that I did clean up their inventory, keeping it clean, like not letting it get like making sure I vendor stuff because now I know if I get any of the following remnant armor things I can just vendor them because I don't need those anymore. Or when you get the little miscellaneous stems from things, I was like I have to accept that I'm actually never going to drink those. I'm never going to remember to use those.
right,
So I just vendor them.
right.
um, put my Jawa junk in the bank. Yes, I know you keep getting it again on a character, but you might as well just put them all in the bank. Um, because then they just take up instead of taking up 50 slots across all your characters, it takes up, smaller number of slots. So anyway, that's boring, but that's what I've been doing. The inventory stuff is boring, but weirdly and oddly rewarding, like watching somebody power wash a really dirty car, I guess.
Well, that's a thing.
Yeah, it is. So anyway, yeah, that's me. How about you, Max? How's your week been?
Man, I have been focused on Galactic Seasons more than anything else, and I've been focused on the rep for Galactic Seasons that's been driving my behavior. So if I'm trying to
Hmm.
figure out what's making me do what I do, I I I'm still doing the get the maximum amount of rep per week, which
Right.
is get as close to 4999 without going over as possible, and then do a purple one. I have taken the step that you mentioned, which was I'm getting those boosts, and I did figure out where they come from. And you do every 21 times you log in. The 21st time you log in, you'll get a Zerka gift crate, and it will have 2 rep boosts in it. They're 15 charges, and it lasts 24 hours, but it's 24 hours in game. So I have a character that I set aside, and I even so this is again all a part of the behavior. That character was level 75. I leveled it up to 80 because I'm going to be turning in rep tokens and getting
Conquest. You
conquest
want it to be on an
anyway.
80. Yeah.
So I spent time leveling up a character from 75 to 80. I cleared out a bunch of inventory space. It's the character that already gets the daily login rewards, so it's the one that's been collecting all of those items. So it'll that smuggler will be ready to go to to do all of that, to collect all of that stuff, and to do the rep turn-ins in a very structured way so I don't mess it up. Did a
When
bunch
you're
of
leveling that character to 80, what did you do?
story. I just did
Okay.
the because I also said if I ever want to do like the Manon dailies or the dailies here, I probably have to have all the story done. I didn't
Yep.
get very far. I got like I think I'm like only halfway through Mech Shah or something. But
Yeah.
that's what I did just in case I ever wanted to start down that path. So yeah, that and then the other thing I'm doing with that Galactic Season rep is trying to get all of the 12 point. So there's 4 of the objectives per week are 12-point objectives, and then the rest are all 8-point objectives, and you can only do 7 total. So I'm trying to do all of the 12-point objectives and not accidentally do 7 8-point objectives and not get the extra 12-point objectives. You could, because you get 15, you get 10 modules for an 8-point objective. The rep module turn in currency, and you get 15 of them for the 12-point objectives. Because I'm trying to maximize per week, I need like 106 modules per week. That's what I figured out. And I spreadsheeted that out with the boost to give me, then I need like four purples, 1 medium blue, 1 small blue, and then 1 extra purple, and all of that adds up to 106.
Yeah. Gotcha.
So doing that, and then in order to do those 12-point objectives, they're all the slightly harder objectives or that take slightly longer. The one that took the longest this week is
or their group content.
Right. Stay on target. Stay on target. It's 25 medals, and not all of the medals count in Galactic Starfighter. We've talked about this before. It's capture, defend, and damage medals only. So like the assassin medal, I mean, you could get like 8 medals in a match and only have like 2 of them count. And when you do deathmatch, especially if it's a fast match and deathmatch, you might only get 1 medal, even though you went fast, did a bunch of damage.
Right.
Like if you do like 19,000 damage, you get 1 medal out of the round. So you went fast, your team won, rah rah. You got 7 medals total because an assassin medal and a defense medal, or not a defense, but whatever. But only 1 counted. So I had like a couple matches like that. So when you get the satellite, what's called the domination match, where you can get a lot of medals. I was getting 6, 7 medals out of a couple of those, and it's hard to get all of those. But each time you capture, if you capture 1 or 2 satellites, that could be 2 medals for that. If you defend a satellite for a while, you get sort of 3-ish medals for that, and then get a couple damage medals on top of that. You can get a nice little stack of medals. So yeah, cool stuff. That's what's been driving my behavior, and then R4 and mandatory fun night and all of that kind of thing. So
I mean, while you were talking, I was sort of randomly killing a few mobs, and I did get a rep token for
a module.
Well, no, for Mandalorian Tatrade.
Oh, right.
On Runic. So I mean, I've been kind of a little bit nervous lately because I'm kind of getting close to the top of the space rep, which is kind of my fallback rep for when I want rep for Conquest. But I mean, this is going to be available for rep as well, obviously.
Yeah, and we've got a slide. We'll get into that. There's a whole rep track, and it did just as last week, as we were saying, boy, they rarely add reps to the game. 5 days later, they add another rep to the game.
Yeah, right.
So we'll get into that.
Right, and I still have the Manon rep that I to use as well for that.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what I've been up to. Well, I mean, we're gonna mostly, I didn't even write up any other news items, so maybe we'll take a quick look.
There's no more news.
Let's press the news button, and then we'll see if we just mention some guild news.
Now, an Imperial News Network report.
Do the guild news, Seema, and I will hit the dev tracker real quick.
So,
we'll do it live.
But basically for guild news, I'll just say I mentioned MFN just for if there's a possibility that anyone within the Sun on Voice doesn't know this, we do our mandatory fun night on Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern time. It's called mandatory fun night, but that doesn't mean attendance is mandatory. It just means we try to make it as fun as possible. This week we did a bunch of world bosses and stuff that counted for galactic seasons. Some weeks we do a lot of world bosses and rampages that count for conquest. If we have the right comp, in other words, like 2 tanks, 2 healers, and and 4 DPS, then we'll go and do, or 12 DPS, we'll go and do an operation. But we don't like for people to sit on that night. So if we have like 11 or 12 people, we may not do an op. But we do sometimes. So if you haven't done ops and you'd like to try sometime, MFN is a good introduction for that.
Yes. I was just responding to the chat room. The PTS is up. That's some of the actual news. So here's we're looking at the news. We're going to get into it about what's on the PTS and what's in 7.2. That's all of the news. So if you look in the
Yeah.
dev tracker, what you'll find beyond that, which you should potentially pay attention to, is all the feedback threads. So we'll go through at a high level everything that we heard in the dev stream this week, and it was amazing. And this might be a little bit long because there's a ton in there. We're going to skip PvP completely, even though that's kind of a big deal because we're going to potentially be going into that in more detail in future weeks. But what you'll find then in the dev tracker in the forums is each of the threads associated with each of these chunks of content where you can provide feedback. So feedback on gearing and progression, feedback on the world boss, feedback on the custom utility bar, all of this kind of stuff. So check it out. Get your feedback in there. It is live on the PTS. There is an opportunity for them to make changes.
I have feedback already.
Do you? Do you have feedback?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
Well, I think we'll get into it.
Yes.
Yes, we will. Why is Conquest already done? Maybe it's because I copied this character over. All right, so I pulled some slides and I have the live video too. Let me go to the slide deck. Let's talk about it. So off the top, and I've been gushing on Twitter and in our Discord and in a direct email to Jackie and about the dev stream itself for number one off the top. I think it was the best produced dev stream that the BioWare has ever done. I totally think so.
It ran smoothly. It looked good. They stayed on topic.
It
was a lot of good info, not a lot of just, is that what you guys want to know?
Right. Yeah, answering, random like responding to random notes in the chat room and that kind of thing. No, very, very on topic. A ton of content. As I said, I just tried to pull each of like the major scene slides out of this, and I'm already up to 40 slides. The presentation itself, a big, huge chunk of it, which a couple people noticed, they played music in the interlude because some of the people were live when they were switching guests, like here when they switched over to Robbie and Ashley. They had to like Jackie and Eric have to get up out of the chairs, and Robbie and Ashley have to come sit down in the chairs. So they'd go to a cut, like a title slide, and they'd play some of the soundtrack music, and it was great. It really added a lot. I almost feel like they had a sound designer who was designing this out. The whole thing, it started exactly on time. It finished about when they thought it would. Produced everything.
It actually went really fast for me too. Like I was really surprised when it was over and I looked down and it had taken an hour because I thought it was like 20 minutes.
Yeah. I saw the chat room saying it didn't feel like this one was recorded. There were a couple of recorded segments, and we'll talk about those. Like there were 2 recorded segments. So Jay's segment with the senior game writer, his was recorded, and then I think was still a good segment, but Bryant's, I think he was reading off a script.
And I Googled some of the books on his bookcase.
On Jay's? Yeah. Jay had such a good camera setup, didn't he?
Yeah. And I mean, I was really, really interested because they were like resources for writing fantasy and writing creatively and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, these look awesome.
Yeah, good. Oh, Cormac's The Road. Yeah, I know. It's good writing, but that is a depressing book. Yeah, and you can zoom in because it was all in high def.
Yeah, right.
Right. It was very, very, very well done. So yeah, and he was artistically angled too. So he was like in the corner, but with like the bookshelf on the other. He wasn't like in the middle of the screen.
Right.
Maybe I should do that. Do I need to like move over like that? Hey, so guys, do you think we should so that you can see my background better? Now you probably can't hear my voices. So to be more artistic in my view of the, yeah, I'll just be right in the middle. But yeah, so this is really good stuff. But so yeah,
Yeah,
right off the top,
exactly. Bad because dad utilizing negative space. Exactly.
yeah, he did a great job framing it. And so, I mean, it's more people than just Jackie, but Jackie was the main coordinator, lining up who should be speaking and structuring and emceeing the
I'm
dev
doing
stream.
all the cat herding, getting everyone there, and
So shout out to Jackie, shout out to the entire team, you know, other people behind the scenes that were helping out with the stream. Really, really good job. And, you know, Eric, I think, did a great job. And in fact, on some difficult topics like the PvP one. So yeah, let's go the rundown off the top. They introduced the new planet Runic. They did a little dive into talking about some of the story elements. They did a dive into what some of the daily area looks like and what some of the daily area story is going to be as well. They showed some of the scenery and the design. We spent quite a bit of time on like the story parts and the scenery and the planet itself, and it deserved that time. They talked about the changes coming to PvP. We'll mention it, but we won't go into it much detail. They talked about some of the UI UX updates. There's some,
and that just to clarify, that's because we plan to go into much more detail at a later time.
yes, we will
In the future.
in the future. That's a problem for future us.
Yes, it is.
They talked about UI UX, and I know this people love and hate this topic. We'll get to it because it's like, well, why are you bothering to spend time on that? I think it's a big deal. I think it makes sense, and I think they're doing.
It's everything to me.
Yeah.
I love it and hate it, but it's also I don't
Right.
consider it minor at all. I consider it like what makes a game playable versus not playable for me.
They talked about gearing. So 7.2 gear, which is also, I think, a big deal I think in a good way. They talked about cartel market items, which I usually don't care about and would have just slept on. But that was a really good little segment, which we'll get to too.
Yeah, for obvious reasons when we get there. Yeah.
And then they mentioned Life Day and some updates to Life Day, which I love that they're continuing to make little tweaks, even if they're just minor to the Life Day
Major
event.
holidays. Yeah.
And then launching this winter. So we don't really know what that means, but hopefully we don't have to wait too long for this content. So we'll get into our commentary as we go along. The other thing they did, and we'll mention it at the end. Hopefully you saw it on Twitter. No, redeem before November 16th. That's a short window. You only have a week to redeem this, apparently. So LOTS Galore, LOTSGALLORE is the code you need to put into the website. SWTOR.com/redeem-code. You'll need to log in with your account. SWTOR.com/redeem-code. Put in that code, LOTSGALLORE. Case doesn't matter. And you will get a prize. It'll come in your mailbox to each of your characters. It's a deco of Jerry Gallo. So that's him right there.
I'm trying, Jerry.
I'm trying, Jerry. Are you keeping your head down? Did you square your shoulders, Jerry? Yeah. Jerry Gallo. Not Jerry Callow. Jerry Gallo. Or is it Jerry Callow? We're not sure. That's a My Cousin Vinny reference. So yeah, there's
That's
the
a great movie.
It is. My biological clock is ticking like this. That's a great movie. Utes. Did you just say Utes? I'm sorry. Youths. All right. This is not a My Cousin Vinny show. You want to
podcast? Yeah.
Legal on YouTube does a great breakdown of My Cousin Vinny.
He does.
Awesome
that was
video.
I mean, that was really fun to watch his breakdown of My Cousin
Watch
Vinny.
our videos first, then watch Legal when you're done. All right. So that's the code. And then Ashley, our favorite narrative director, and Robbie Lamb, who I had not been introduced before, but has been around forever, doing Bioware and Bioware stuff, but also SWTOR stuff for a long, long time. So this is Robbie. Robbie is the senior. It says here senior environment artist, and he is a master of his craft and a brilliant artist. And as you know, we're here and showing off all of this scenery and all of these models. You can definitely see a lot of Robbie's touch. So he's just the senior artist. I'm sure there's a whole team of artists that are working on this kind of thing. But especially this hard surface modeling. So hard surface modeling is things like like the machinery and the metal, where the way you do this kind of modeling with tools is you're taking like a block and you're cutting slices out of it and you're drilling chunks into it in effect with the modeling tools, as opposed to sculpting in modeling tools, which you might have used for these rocks, but you'll definitely use for things like the trees. That's often done by almost like tools that feel like more like you're molding clay, and you might do that on a tablet, more of that kind of thing. He's an expert at that. And if you look close, like on the railing here, you see like all of the rusted edges of the textures, how like there's parts of the paint are all sort of chipping off in different ways. That's all done with like texture painter or texture painter. So Maya is the sculpting tool. Wait, it says it here on his ArtStation page. Let's bring that up. What are the things that he's awesome at? But he is a hard surface modeler at heart, it seems. And if you go to his ArtStation, look him up, look up Robbie, you'll see like a bunch of this hard surface modeling that he has done for Star Wars.
Wow. Yeah.
Like look at this. I don't know if this is in the game. This weird this cool building. That's why I said full screen, not tinier. There's the little full screen button and it made it smaller. Look at these weapons. These are obviously assault cannons for a commando. I love this stuff. And this is the kind of thing that I did with with this.
Mm-hmm.
This our little this droid you see on our title screen was all I did that with all hard surface modeling. So it's the same kind of thing. But yeah, so he is a master of this kind of stuff. You can definitely see it in the kind of thing that's going on, and Texture Painter and Maya are the kind of tools that he's mentioned in his profile too, I believe. So yeah, really, really cool. I'm now stalking these artists, these guys from, there's two of them that have an ArtStation page that we can look up. All right, so we spent way too much time talking about this so far, but that gives you a taste of kind of what's making me very happy about this stuff. Anything you have got to say on Robbie and Ashley talking about like the environment and the planet? And I think we've
already said it
for a while.
Yeah.
But check it out. You can go on the PTS. There's the area down in the valley. There's some area inside the buildings, and there's the mining area in the gorge. Remember, this is an abandoned mining operation that Hedda Cole has taken over. Because I looked at it, we're over here on the planet, and I was looking at this mining operation, looking over the edge of the cliff here, and I was saying, what he should have done is he should have had like these, like the machines like digging in the ground and stuff. But no, you really can't, because it's supposed to be a dead mining operation. But look at all like the blowing dust in the wind, like dust coming off, the dust falls coming off the cliffs in the background. I just cannot get enough of it. All right, so there's that. Then we got a rundown on some of the characters. We won't go into too much detail on this, but we did get to hear about some of the new characters from both Jay, a senior game writer who I had not met before, and he had a recorded message because he wasn't in the studio directly, but he went through that. And then Caitlin, who we do know. So we got to hear more about Caitlin as well. Caitlin walked us. So Jay sort of talked about the overall story structure. He's one of the writers. And then Caitlin talked about two of the new characters. And this is looking good. Lane Vizsla. I like it. I like the sound of Lane Vizsla so far. What about you, Seema?
Yes.
I mean, we
I
really
mean,
haven't met them yet, so who knows?
yeah,
She could
right,
be she could
right.
be annoying or a hipster of some kind that I'm
Well, I like Shea Vizsla, and they said she shares some qualities with Shea Vizsla, so I mean, what's not to
yeah,
like?
look at the like her pouty serious face right there.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, if she's like, "I'm Lane Vithla. I think you all should listen to me real good." Then yeah, then we won't like her. I'll
If
do the
she,
voice for Lane
if
Vizsla.
she says, "Thank you for trusting
Thanks
me."
for trusting me. Shut up, Lane. If I have to say shut up, Lane, then you know it's gonna be a problem. But yeah.
Starry Saber says, "Well, she's not Koth, so far so good."
But Caitlin threw in a couple fun things that she'd like put into the backstory of Lane. She is a Vizsla, but she doesn't want to be known as a Vizsla. So she doesn't want to be in Shay's shadow. She doesn't want any of like the like nepotism. She's on her own. She's making her own way, and she'll put you in your place if you say otherwise. That's what it sounds like. And then it sounds like our nemesis here, or at least Lane's nemesis, is Kerr Harangir. Kerr Harangir. I cannot read, apparently. I never learned to read. I'm an after school special. So Kerr, who knows? I'm already, I'm a bit mid on Kerr so far. We'll see if they put a lot of personality into him, but he's like, he's like the rich guy, and he's like the rich clan, and I'm so on the whole theme of like, rich dudes are bad, so we'll make the rich dude the bad guy. So we'll see how they shape it. If he's got more qualities to him and a little bit more depth to him than just rich man
That,
bad, then
but that was the sort of the theme of the bounty hunter story early on with the Great Hunt. Is like the one guy who was trying to sort of rich his way into winning.
mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, what's his name?
And bounty hunters, um, you know, credits are important to them. So
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, again, yeah, we'll see. And
yeah,
he's, I mean, part of Hedda Cole's crew includes what's his name with the pompadour Elvis looking guy. I mean, his whole thing was Terrell Blood. Sorry, that's who we were thinking of. Thank you, chat room, for the bounty hunter story. And then who's the guy with the hairdo whose flagship area in Spirit of Vengeance was like filled with a whole bunch of cool treasures, and he had the Wonka Vader
Basque
mount.
son.
Basque. Yeah. I mean, Basque has character. If it's like a Basque, if he's got character, and if he's, even that you'd like to hate, then fine, then good. So we'll see. And then the other thing that Caitlin got into, which we talked about in the opening there, is there will be rep. There will be rep. So there's dailies, there's story, there's this planet. You'll be going back there for dailies and weeklies. There's a world boss, there's Datacron, but there's reputation then. So the reputation is a Mandalorian reputation. There's Mandalorian titles, which have Mandalorian meaning. Bay Mandalore Tomad and Pargilla Gatik are two legacy titles that you can get. And
Actually, I didn't write down what they mean. I wish I could remember, but yeah, it was cool.
Caitlin describes it in the stream. In fact, we could
Yeah.
probably just flip to it. Should we just go to Caitlin and she would
Right.
she says
I mean,
about
that's what I was saying. I didn't write it down when she said it, but it was
Vizsla's forces who are going up against Hedda Cole. As we mentioned before in the presentation, Runic is a very up the track. At friend rank, we have Bamandalore Tamad, which means ally of Mandalore. And when you complete the track, you will unlock the legacy title Pargilla Gaetik, which is roughly translates to Triumphant Story, which I think is a fitting title for actually completing legend rank.
Okay.
I agree. It is fitting.
Boy, I went right to that and queued it right up, didn't I?
Yes,
It was
yes, you
smooth.
did. Well done. That was smooth.
And when you like talk about it and point it out like that, it really shows your professionalism.
Right.
Look at me. Now I got to go back to the slides. So yeah, that's cool. And then as we mentioned also, or maybe we didn't, maybe that was in the pre-show, rewards. They talked about some of the rewards, and there's some soft surface modeling and some hard surface modeling decos that you'll get as part of the reputation track. I like that they're thinking about these things in kind of as tracks, which reputation always was. It was each of the ranks you unlock new things on the rep vendors. So it always was kind of a track. But I'm really glad, because as soon as I saw that mushroom tree in particular, I'm like, oh, I need that as a deco. And we do. We get that as deco, and we get the glowing cactuses, which are really cool as a deco as well. I hope they're standalone and not in a flower pot. You know how they did a lot of the plants
Yes,
in the flower pots.
yes. That is a good point.
And then on the hard surface side, and these are big looking, and I'd love this rock crusher. This rock crusher deco is really cool, and the excavator is cool too. I have not seen the rock crusher on the planet yet, but I'm sure it's around there somewhere. It's got those four crusher blades. It reminds me of the drill in what the Schwarzenegger movie, Get Your Ass to Mars.
Oh.
Total Recall. In the original Schwarzenegger version of Total Recall, there was the drill where the one guy was trying to crush them against a rock wall.
Yes.
That was awesome. In fact, you want some movie lore? There was a director's cut of that scene of like the when he drills into the cabin and kills, I forgot what the guy's name was, Tommy or whatever, the bad guy that was running the drill. There was a version of that scene that was so gory and bloody it was going to give them an NC-17 rating, and then they had to tune it back. That was some old school movies back in the day. Spoilers. Zen, you are the master of spoilers. Rosebud is the name of the sled. Zen, Rosebud is the sled. They don't get together in the end in Casablanca. So
Stop.
Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but someday, and for the rest of your life.
Soon, and for the rest of your life.
Daily area missions. So Caitlin also described normal, heroic, weekly, daily Mando relic missions, which sounded interesting. It sounded like you're going to unlock buffs, and those sounded similar to what we get on Manon. I don't know exactly how it's going to work, but that was kind of cool. Planetary achievements, which not listed on any of these slides, but they did say there's a datacron that you'll be able to figure out how to get to, and a new weekly world boss named Kithral. And they did describe Kithral as it's a reptile magma beast that had been dug up from delving too deeply and too greedily into the mines. They know
Now, the way
uncovered.
The way I take that, when they say, instead of just saying new world boss, they said new weekly world boss. The way I take that is it's going to be added from the get-go to priority targets.
Sounds good. They better. And is that feedback? Are you providing that as feedback, Seema?
Nope, that's not my feedback. I forgot what my feedback was.
Well, he doesn't have to just have one. You can have more feedback.
I know.
That is additional feedback. The plural of feedback is feedback.
Yes.
Yes, but I hope, as Corley, our ops leader, said, I hope we fight this monster on a bridge.
Yes.
You say, "You shall not pass." And then when you kill it, the tank grabs onto the edge and goes
down with
"Fly,
him.
you fools," and then falls. Now I want all of that to happen. That's my feedback. There we go. Okay. PvP changes. These are a coming. It is quite significant, as we said. We're not going to go into too much detail here. This will be quite an upheaval, and there is plenty of feedback that's, this is a big deal, and it's going to be very disruptive. In effect, ranked is collapsing into regulars, so kind of like the ranked mode on its own is going away, and that's quite disturbing to a lot of people that was their game, and we can understand that. So there's a lot of other things that gets us, and so we'll also talk through that in the future. You could think of like the PvP reward track as something that they can do now and make available to everybody, making free to play available for to have 100% participation in all PvP and no limits. Currency and buy-ins for everybody to be able to get some of these rewards, and then for them to be able to spend time on it because this is something that they can apply resources to because everybody gets it, and not just dealing with the handful of people that play ranked. However, it is going to be a tough thing to work through, and we're going to have to see what the feedback is and what it's going to do to that community. And we're really not going to know until 7.2 launches and we get into it, and we're a month into it, and we feel what it's like for those people and see if they still have a way to have fun and participate and play. I think that they could if they want, if they stick around, but they could rage quit now, and it wouldn't be unwarranted. So we'll see. This is just a view of the umpire uniforms. That is the armor rewards for PvP this round. You get to be an umpire. It's sort of like a hut ball thing, I think.
The fact that they lifted the cap for free to play number of war zones or number of games makes me kind of hopeful that they will revisit the idea of the hops passes again.
I would love that. I would love for them to revisit ops passes, because we have people that come to mandatory fun night that aren't subscribed. We try to do what we want to do in ops, and we've got 12 people, and then we only really have 11 or 10 because 2 people are free to play. So yeah, that would be excellent. The one thing I always like, I think these really are umpire inspired, because that does look like a ball cap on this guy's head, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. A ball cap turned around, yeah.
I mean, the frog dogs and rotworms were kind of like sports jersey deals.
Yeah.
Maybe these are umpire deals. Even like the shin guards, these look like umpire stuff. I like the glow. I like glowy parts on any piece of armor, though.
You're out of there. It says bad cuz dad.
And then they also showed, I'm only pausing on it because I want this as a stronghold, but they added a 4v4 arena based on Onderon, and it looks awesome. It looks great. It just,
Yeah.
I love Onderon. I love the purple foliage. I'd like to put some of those creatures, as decos in my Onderon stronghold. I like
I really like that, yeah.
The little bar that's at the hunting lodge on Onderon, have a version of that. I want this to be a stronghold. It's great that it's a 4v4 arena as well, but you've got all the assets. You've got like this little area. I mean, you could almost just take it, put a bunch of hooks in it, and make this a stronghold.
Yeah. I feel like,
Do it.
I mean, and if they're feeling like, yeah, but it's not quite big. It's not big like Yavin or Rishi or whatever. It's okay.
Yeah.
They don't have to all be big
But
like that.
It could be bigger than it appears, because there's actually an inside part to this and an inside part to each side. That's where the starting area is for the 2 teams.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a little building here too. So if those buildings are typically for an arena are typically relatively big. So you could have like 2 or 3 rooms in each of those side buildings, a couple, like a room or 2 to unlock in the middle building, and then like this whole outdoor area, and still have like 7 rooms to unlock, a bunch of hooks across the whole thing. Maybe a little way to get into this back area by the pond. There's this little upper area back here. Totally. Let's do it. Do
Yeah.
it. Then they threw in a note again. Jerry Callow has got his poster for you. LOTSGALLORE. Enter the
Like
code. Do it.
like a Bond character.
Yes. lots, lo- lots of galore. Lots galore. No, no, Mr. Gallo. I expect you to die. And then gearing changes. So this was Bryant Wood, who's been posting in the forums. We've been hearing from Bryant. I think this is good, important, and interesting. I know some people, in fact, I saw some people in the, I don't know if it was the chat room before the stream started or if it was like in forums or something in the days leading up to it, but people were saying, man, if they change gear again, I'm going to go crazy. This isn't really a change to gear. It's still all of the same. You know, there's the Noble and Elite Decurion, Supreme Decurion, Tiny's Colomi Ricotta, and then there's the armor sets from R4. All of that's the same, but they're changing the floors and the ceilings. So what do we mean by that? The floor is the bottom level of gear. So like when you go and do story mode operation, you used to get 320 gear out of the operation. Now you'll get 324. And then you can upgrade it. So the new ceiling, Tiny's, Colombian Ricotta, now go up to 336. So they start at 324, they go up to 336, where it was 320 to 330. So floors going up, ceilings going up. The thing I didn't see on here, which I would like clarification on, and maybe we can go look at the vendors or try to run, kill IP boss on the PTS just to see what it does to get some tokens. Is the R4 gear also going up? Like, is it go above 340 for vet mode R4 gear? Does it go to 342 or 344? It's not on the slides. They didn't mention it, I don't think. Did anybody hear Bryant mention that? I don't think so. So I don't know. Gonna have to discover that. It's on the PTS. We'll be able to check it out. The other thing I really liked about this, Hyde and Zeke. So Hyde and Zeke are the two Rhodians. I'm going to try not to time out here because we could actually go to the fleet and click on those guys. Although I saw somebody click on them and it's incomplete. So Hyde and Zeke are the two Rhodians on the fleet where you get the mods. You have to unlock them as a vendor. And when you unlock them as a vendor, they will give you a complete inventory of mods that you can slot into moddable gear. And it was, what was it? It was 330, right? Yeah, 330 mods. And now they go up to 336. So that's great. We expect for 332 and 336, you'll probably have to unlock them again. So what you have to do then is you have to go in some other way and get a 332 piece and or a 336 piece, go back to Hyde and say, Hyde, I want to dance your dance. And he says, well, fine. Now that you have the mission, don't do it before you get the mission, but now that you have the mission, deconstruct a piece of 336 gear. You do that, it completes the mission, you turn it in, and Zeke, then the vendor, has the 336 mods unlocked for you. So.
Yeah.
I expect we'll have to do that, but we can get 336 out of story mode operations. So we can just go upgrade a piece of Tiny's gear and upgrade it to 336, turn it into Hyde, and then we'll be full 336. And then we'll take our 336 bad selves into R4 and we'll kick IP's butt.
We'll take our 336 selves wherever we want to go.
Yes. So yeah, I'm glad. If you aren't doing that, if you aren't using hide and seek in this way, I highly recommend it. Do it for your alts. I did find out Sten in our guild confirmed. Corley and Sten were talking about it. Those mods, I was saying that they're not legacy bound, so you got to like move a piece over, blah 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 blah. apparently they are legacy bound, but there's a timer on them. So you have to wait for the sell back timer to expire, and then
right.
the mods themselves are even legacy bound. You can put them in. You can just buy a set for an alt, stick them in legacy storage. The alt can grab them, put them in whatever armor set. They're not very expensive compared to how many credits are floating around in the world these days. They're expensive if you're, if this is your first day in the game. They're like 100K each or something like that. But do Conquest 1 week, buy an OEM or an RPM, sell it for 100 million credits or 300 or whatever the price is this week.
Oh yeah,
And
they're bound to legacy even after you equip them. Like I
then
took
you
a mod
yank 'em
out
out?
of my.
So you could
Yeah.
probably just slot it in a piece of gear, which would clear the timer. Then it's bound to legacy. Rip it right back out. You'll be paying for the cost to rip it out, but you could then probably mail it off right away. Super cool. Super great way to gear up all your alts. If you're messing around, passing around gear sets, which I still am because I've got like them augmented and stuff, but just for a baseline 336 gear set on every single one of your alts, awesome. Super cool. Do it. Do it. And I think I think that mostly wrapped it up. Oh no. I don't know why they throw this in the middle. Join us on the forums. Jackie loves the new forums. So she did want to make the point. Oh, there will be new legendary implants. There will be new legendary implants. Currency conversions. What is that? I was paying attention to chat quite a bit while I was watching the stream, so I might have missed a couple things in here. I don't know what currency conversions mean with
Well,
regard to.
one thing they did mention during the PvP part was that PvP currency will
Yeah.
it'll be completely it won't get converted or anything. So they want to probably make that really clear.
Yeah.
Spend it now.
I thought this was just in regards to our armor, the
Yeah.
new armor tiers, but maybe not, because quality of
Maybe-
life improvements is not. That's overall too.
Yeah.
But we already mentioned that stuff in the threads. UI, man, see, that's what I'm saying. Look at all this stuff they packed into there, and they just snap, on point, really well done. And there's a lot in the UI stuff, and we can show you some of it live. We can debunk the ridiculous thread that popped up on Reddit saying, why did they ruin the minimap? This minimap is great.
Yes, it is.
I cannot
nice.
believe they got rid of the clock. They did not get rid of the clock. In fact, you can have 2 clocks. Here, I'll show you. Watch this. You hit escape. You go to interface editor. Interface editor, you have 2 utility bars now that you get to mess around with. Utility bar number 1 up there is the one where you get like the daily login rewards. You put whatever, 18 slots. There's 18 slots in that utility bar up there. There's only 11 done, I think, in utility bar 2. But so look, I got a little clock up there in the upper left. I can go to utility bar 2, and I can add a clock to this one too.
I'm pretty sure you could add 11 clocks if you wanted.
Can you do clock? You can. You can have 18 clocks on that one and 11 on this one. You can have 29 clocks on your screen. Oh, that is beautiful. Oh, I cannot believe that. So there's people on the forums going, I cannot believe they got rid of the clock. You can have 21 clocks on your screen. They did not get rid of the clocks. That is excellent. I cannot believe that. So yes, cancel. Undo. Once we changes, do you want? Yes, I want you to exit, because I didn't want 3 clocks on my screen, let alone 21, or 29, whatever.
This is actually was one thing I wanted to say about this. I played with this little bar for about 5 minutes, and both bars, utility bar 1 and utility bar 2, and found it super intuitive to like customize and to figure out how to manage it. I just went into Interface Editor and started looking at things, and I mean, that is my feedback. Super intuitive, which
Oh, well done. Yeah,
isn't always easy to do, especially with a new feature.
I agree.
And
Yeah.
yeah.
Minimap itself, movable. That was other feedback that ended up in the forums. I don't put my minimap in the lower right. Well, that's terrible. Yeah, fine. Put it wherever you want. Look, put it right in the middle of your screen. Put it up your butt.
Oh my God, Max.
Serious, this stuff gets me riled up. Okay, you want this is what you sound like. Go and look at Sean Murray. Sean Murray is the studio director for Hello Games, who does No Man's Sky. Go look at his Twitter feed. He links to a post on I think it's Hard Drives is the name of the website. They have a parody post about the insufferable fan who thinks No Man's Sky was better when it sucked.
Yes.
I hate all the new changes. I think it was much better back when it sucked. That's what you sound like. Just be careful about that. And that's not everybody, and very valid criticism as well. I'm not dissing that. It's just the people that read someone's misinformed headline on Reddit and make conclusions on that. That's what you should not do. Okay. 29 clocks. 29 clocks I have. 29 clocks. Also, if you hit M, the default view of the new way you get to look at maps is like this. It floats, and this I'm really liking this. I was using it to get around here on Rickroll. What's the name of the planet?
Okay, so see, that is still technically the mini map. That's just the larger version of the mini
Yes,
map. You
that is-
still have the regular map.
Yeah, if you hit Alt M, you can have the regular map, and then you hit Shift M, and you can get the Galaxy map.
Or you can
Runuk.
put in your
Runuk.
utility bar down here, you can put a button to go to the map.
So
if you
all of
want.
that still exists, because I mean, you're still gonna want the
Right, because
map.
the map, because you want to be able to see the whole planet in
Right.
some instances.
Right, exactly. And switch between maps, like switch to the PvP map and that kind of thing. You need to be able to do that.
Runic.
But having the floating mini map with that's filterable, and you can put little things on it, and light up the vendors if you want, or take them off if you don't. This is really great. I really like it, and they've added in both into the mini map and to the map the ability to lightly see through Fog of War. So what is Fog of War? Fog of War is when you go to a new planet, and we've all done this. You go to Terrace. Terrace was great for this.
And by great, Terrace, you mean terrible.
Yes. You go to Terrace, and you get a mission. It says, go to the swamp. Go to the swamp. And you can see the glowing triangle on the map, but it's in a big grayed out area that has no detail whatsoever. It's just been a grayed out area. So you point yourself towards that area, and you just start walking, and nope, you can't go that way because there's a big wall. So you go to the left. Nope, now you're down in a hole in a valley. Nope. Yeah, okay. You actually need to go if you want to go east, you actually need to go west and then climb up. But you can't tell that because the Fog of War, all of that gray area that's grayed out, you can't until the map is discovered today. You can't see that. Now you'll be able to see it. You'll be able to see it as soon as you go to a planet. You'll be able to see all of where you need to go, where the roads are. This is great.
Except for Zen. Zen will say it's a map spoiler.
Touche. Well played. He will. Spoiler, don't show me. You'll have to close your eyes when you get to every planet and never bring up the map, Zen. And just walk and walk. Like walk. Be careful not to walk off a cliff like I almost did just now. So that's cool. And then finally, to wrap up the UI stuff, which is more important than it sounds. is the colorblind modes, and they are
Yes.
very well done. And I think it's going to be really effective for the people. Oh, here's a view of the seeing through the fog of war. So it's not fully lit up like it is over here, showing all the vendors, but it's here. You can no, it even shows vendors in there. But you can see where you need to go. How do I get to the rust yards? Oh, I can go through. Here's an opening. That's where I'm going to need to go.
Well, one thing I noticed too about the mini map, because I was on the fleet to start off with, and one thing I've never really understood about the fleet is that it doesn't always show all the vendors. Like if you're on one side of the fleet, you're somehow too far away for a vendor to show up on the map. But on the mini map, the enlarged mini map or whatever we're calling it,
Yeah.
all the vendors were there, which that's good because I'm always saying, okay, wait, where was this? Where was the vendor where you buy the compendium so I can raise my companion
Right.
influence?
Yeah. We're going to have a name for that. Like the big mini,
Right.
the big mini
The
map,
maxi mini.
max mini map. The colorblind mode is supposed to be super configurable as well. I'm trying to find it here actually in the game. Do you know where it is?
Let me look. I don't know, but I was really happy to see it. I mean, I knew it was coming because they've commented before that some of the back end stuff that they were doing was to be able to do this kind of configuration.
Yeah. So it's all very configurable and it's built in here somewhere, but I can't find it at the moment. But this is quite important in a number of ways because we play with a lot of people that are colorblind and in different ways. So what you'll be able to do is you'll be able to tune it up however you like it. Bottom of graphics just saw it. And now when I was colorblind off. So there's three modes apparently. I thought it was even more tunable than that, and maybe they will make it more tunable than that because there are other things that you can tune up, like text. All of the text now is tunable to whatever color makes the most sense for you, and all the name tags. So, Protanopia, Deuteranopia mode. This is wild.
Oh, I see.
And
Okay.
Tritanopia. I mean, obviously this is monocolor, 2-color, 3-color, colorblind modes.
And hopefully people who are colorblind know which kind they are by those names. But you can just try the ones and see which work for you too.
Yeah. I'll be interested to see that, we've got one of our officers who's got a version of this. Be great to get him in and have him try it out.
Yeah, because fights like Operator 9
Yeah.
were really hard to do. Not only hard to do, but hard to even talk about.
Right. The monolith and
Yeah. Oh, well, that's yeah.
it's just three
Yeah.
colors of circles.
I mean,
pick up
that
your
that
color
in
and-
that fight where the palette is very muted to begin with, and then the colors are very muted. I mean,
Yeah.
it might be useful for everyone to
Right.
pick one of these modes.
Right. That might be interesting. So yeah, important and useful. And really this kind of accessibility is something that's good for all of us because it gets all of our friends to be able to play
Yeah.
in ways that they can't today. Oh, we still have more. I thought we were done. Deconstruct and delete window. Deconstruct window is getting an extra. You can sort of see what it looks like here. In fact, is it in? Let me just bring
That's
it up.
gonna help me with my remnant armor.
Right, because you could just drag a whole bunch of stuff in here into the destroy side, and
Right.
bang, it's gone, and you don't have to like drag each thing off and like delete each piece separately.
Right. Because like every time I get 20 pieces of armor, all 20 of them I don't need, right? And a good day would be
This is great because I do this all the time. Like here, I got out this Mandalorian Seeker armor set out of the cartel market, so I could put it in my outfit. Now it's in collections. I don't need it sitting here in my inventory, and it was a pain in the butt to delete this stuff. And look at what I just did. Look at me, Seema. Deconstruct, delete, bang, gone. Sweet.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will totally use. I didn't think I would use that at all, but I will totally use that often. Cool.
Right. And all those characters with your 80 males in the beginning or 120 males, all the the things that are doubles that you can't even click on.
Right, the
Or
extra decos if
decoration.
you're at the cap.
Yeah, the decos and there's a couple of titles that you get more than one of, and yeah.
You are. This is right. This is a huge quality of life upgrade. Huh. All right. Bradley Lewis. That's another one you got to look up. You totally got to look up Bradley on ArtStation as well. Just Google Bradley Lewis BioWare. He, in addition to designing things for the cartel market and being a brilliant graphical designer, actually does a whole lot. And I think he even has like a side company or a side business where he designs like what he did here. This lightsaber hilt. This lightsaber hilt that he designed it and constructed it in real life. And it took him a couple months. He brought it to the stream. Jackie, and I think I have a picture here of Jackie worshiping the lightsaber. A brilliant work, and gave me a ton more respect for the kind of work that's going into the stuff that's ending up in the cartel market. I don't typically pay a lot of attention to the cartel market, and I was fascinated by this segment, and I now want more of this stuff. So Bradley was really cool. I would love to get him on just to talk about all of the
that'd be
other
awesome.
things that he's built and constructed. And if you look at his ArtStation page, in fact, fine, I will look it up, Seema. Stop. Just Bradley.
Right. Sorry, Saber. I'm pretty sure Jackie still
Bradley
has it.
Lewis BioWare ArtStation. Boy, I had it all queued up. Look at this stuff, man. Look at all these designs, and then the physical models of the. Ooh, did he do this? Oh, look at this. Look at this guy. Oh, this is so good. Bradley, I need. Ooh, look at these. Well, we saw this. Look at the detail on the holster. Again, this is like the new textures. This is what they're able to do these days. What is this little octopus guy? It's got like little doodles in here too. Like it's a sloth. It's a pencil drawing of a sloth in a space helmet. Because I think is that like one of his. I think Robo Pirate is his current side business where he does some of this kind of stuff, builds some of these models. But there's another, I see a couple things here called Sloth Furnace.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Super cool. Super cool. So yeah, he brought that, and then he showed off the Pike Syndicate armor that's going to come to the cartel market, which it's a Book of Boba Fett throwback, which is actually kind of cool. This is a good looking armor set. Again, this cloth, the cloth simulation that they're adding into some of these models is looking really, really good. So I'm liking that. And then I kind of really like this ceremonial Besked blade.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That is cool.
And then I kind of like, I'm not a big fan of vibro axes, but I like that it's animated and telescoping, and it's Rickon's vibro axe. So Rickon is Sahar's brother. So that's Rickon's vibro axe. So hopefully we'll get to see that in action in the game.
Yeah, I do like that vibro app.
Life Day. Last thing that they mentioned is Life Day, and mostly I think they just said it's just getting tuned up a little bit. Yeah, I think you'll be able to hug 75,000 Wookiees. I think that's going to be the new achievement, 75,000. Can't wait.
I'm behind on that one.
And then snow globes and a gala hat. And I really like these snow globes. They're also a very cool model. We have a bunch of them on our guild ship, and I would like to have more. Well, welcome to them. These snow globes are great. Okay, so that's what's coming in 7.2, and it is live on the PTS right now. You can go check it out. We are here goofing off. You can do the dailies already. You can do that. You can go kill and fight the world boss and give feedback on it, which I think we should do that. Let's do
I
that.
would like to do that. Yeah.
Let's make that happen. And you can just go wander around and look at the place and marvel at just how amazing of a job the team has done putting this together. And if this is where things stand, if this is the platform that they have to build on top of, in fact, I didn't even consider that their engine would be able to go in this direction to this degree. So if this is where we're at going forward, I'm excited. I'm happy. That's what pleased me the most about wandering around and looking at this is I'm experimenting and checking out and looking at, you look at games that are made in Unreal 5, and that still goes beyond this to some degree. But you look at that and you go, I wish we had that in Star Wars, The Old Republic, and we can. We can get at least part of the way there. I like it. And I like this stuff. Makes me want to bring up Blender and get some of my own Substance Painter. Not Texture Painter, Substance Painter. I was saying that wrong earlier in the podcast. Substance Painter is the tool that Robbie has in his resume, and this kind of like weathered edging is something that Substance Painter does really well. So there you go. What's your favorite thing, Seema?
I would have to say the same thing that you would probably say, which is the planet itself.
Yeah.
So far, yeah. And the new Onderon stronghold that we just designed.
Invented. Yes.
Yes, in our heads.
You are correct. Yes, we have invented the new Onderon stronghold. Yeah.
I like the map.
Yep. I like the map. I like that we're getting some story. I want more of the Malgus story. I really want that. But I like Mandalorian stories. So Hedicole and What's the Deal? And they even played a little bit. Caitlin played some of the intro where Shea Vizsla is talking about what's going on. And it added a little bit more backstory. Like, nobody really knows who Hedicole is. She's not like from one of the obvious clans. So it looks like we're going to get like a little bit of backstory there.
And like Shay says, she fights like a Mandalorian, but how come I don't know her if she's a Mandalorian?
Right.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. Maybe she's not a Mandalorian under there. So we'll find that out. And I think just more Mandalorian stuff in general is a really fun idea to explore. The TV show The Mandalorian, of course, is doing a good job of that as well. But it's one of those, it's a cool faction. It's a non-Force faction, which once we're getting more and more of that into Star Wars lore, and we're getting away from the magic of the magic fantasy parts of Star Wars, I think it's expanding what's possible and getting some really interesting stories into the expanded universe that everybody can appreciate. The Mandalorians is part of that. What they're doing with the Andor TV series is another example of that, where you're getting more to the politics and the intrigue. And again, away from the Sith, this Jedi and Sith, and there's only two, and here's my lightsaber battle. Not that that's not cool too. Not that we don't like magic swords, laser swords, but it's fun to have. I mean, my mains are a Vanguard and a mercenary, and it's because I like that part of thinking about what that's like in this universe where there is the magic power of the Force, but you're making your way in as just a tech a tech user, sci-fi tech user. And I'm a big fan of that. All right. I think we're going to have to play some on the PTS. We'll go fight the world boss, maybe try out some of the dailies and weeklies, and we'll have a little bit of time to do it. And I encourage everyone else to get in there and do it as well because it's a good time and you can provide the feedback. Do it. Anything else then, Seema, before we wrap it up here?
No, I say let's wrap it up.
We have gone long, about an hour and 15, a little bit longer than we usually do. So with
But
that,
we thought we might, yeah.
yeah, I think we are ready to take our EPC 446 droid and kick it out an airlock to broadcast this podcast to all of you out there. Hey, thanks for coming and joining us. All the feeds and subscribe links are on newoverlords.com and on YouTube/newoverlords. You can also come chat with us in our Discord, which is at newoverlords.com/Discord. You can follow me on Twitter at Max the Gray, and you can follow the New Overlords, and you will get more of everything on Twitter. And if Twitter explodes in a cloud of fallout, maybe we'll be on more additional social networks in the future too. We'll keep you up to date. For the Alea Iacta Est Guild on Starforge and all the games that we play, check out aie-guild.org, and the Discord link is in the upper right of there. You can jump in there. You can say, hey, Starforge, I know you've got a guild on the Imperial and the Republic side. I've got a character I'd love to join, and we will get you an invite. And with that, we will talk to you soon.
Later, everyone.